Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and okay, this one should be pretty interesting. Is that you may have heard for a while now, I've often said that you could actually gauge for what is actually going on in this country, specifically by what the newspapers do not tell you, or maybe just what the news doesn't tell you in general. But there are some things that I will want to come to. For example, the inevitable fallout with the budget, as after people have realizing exactly what it means, and it can best be illustrated by the fact that, well, there's an entire segment on Question Time that I wanted to do a video about tomorrow, because that really is going to put things into its proper perspective. But to also put things into their proper perspective, the Daily Express have gone with a story this morning with Brexit is a great British success story that has brought millions, or something of the other. I'll put up a little thing right here to showcase what they've actually said. But now, I know what you're probably thinking to yourself, is that, well, and I could go over through all the necessary and very relevant questions, like who has Brexit been a success for? What success has it actually brought? When are we actually going to see any level of success from Brexit? Where is all the success going to take place? Why is Brexit successful, and how is Brexit successful? But I suppose if there was any other question relevancy to what the Daily Express are trying to brainwash people into believing, I may as well go with this one. If Brexit really was such a great idea, in fact, if leaving the European Union was such a great idea and has worked in our favour, then first of all, well, why are we in recession? Second, why is this budget literally... then we hear stories about Birmingham City Council saying that children who require extra attention have to be taught at home. You know, if things were going so well, why would we need things like that? But you could probably guess that means it's because it can only mean that the actual story must be a lie. Because listen, there's been a lot of news that's actually come out of Birmingham as so far as cuts are concerned, but that's just one of them that's been circulating. And if true, even as far as as far as as Bromwich, West Bromwich, or as far as East Bastion, it's one of those things you just straight up can't really ignore and wonder, well, hang on a second, if Brexit is so successful, then why is... But then my other question is, if it's been so successful for us, then why have the following nations also not joined suit and left the European Union? Such as the French, the Germans, the Spanish, the Italians, the Portuguese, the Swedish, the Danish, the Finnish, the Estonians, the Bulgarians, the Polish, the Austrians, the Hungarians, the Georgians, the Romanians, the Albanians, those living in Malta, the Greeks. Norway isn't actually in the European Union as well, but listen, if you actually want to know what something successful outside of the European Union looks like, look in the direction of Norway, because you know what? First of all, you don't have stories of tax dodgers like Gary Barlow or Nidiam Zahari there. Trust me, they are shit hot on that sort of thing, and you're not going to be seeing any bullshit from those guys over there. Trust me, there's no way they're going to get away with it. But it does raise a question. If the Daily Express are just straight up saying that Brexit has been a marvellous success in its 5 years, well, since we left officially, then again, why, A, am I not convinced? B, why is the rest of Europe not decided to completely disband the Union? And then, of course, we run into also things like, I still don't believe it, because who's trying to convince us, and who says it's a success? Is it somebody who works for the Daily Express? Is it, somebody in the Tory party? Because one other interesting little tidbit is the fact that Penny Mordaunt's face actually also appears on the front of the Daily Express, and it's almost just so tucked in the corner beside the big, Brexit is a big success, the headline. So was it Penny Mordaunt who said that? And, well, why? Well, okay, who are they trying to convince that Brexit has been a success? Me? Because guess what? I voted to stay, and my opinions have remained absolutely anchored to the ground. Like, my opinion has literally not changed because I saw immediately the sort of things that this would lead to, and nobody chose to listen to me. And 8 years later, it's biting us on the arse because we are now systematically being lied to for things that we absolutely know are not true. We know absolutely Brexit has not been a success. We know that, again, Brexit has just been this incredible racket to actually make Britain far more right wing and far more xenophobic than the rest of Europe. Because, to be honest, if you really wanted, people have tried to argue the case about things like, being involved in single markets and that we could, like, finance. To be honest, I think, like, the economic side of it has been, like, not really on the agendas of some people were regarding Brexit. I think Brexit is very much been one that's been externally motivated by immigration and virtually almost not much else because, well, it was something that I picked up upon all the way through since I first learned about Nigel Farage, and even on occasions when all three major political parties, they had foreign representatives to actually speak on behalf of their party, and it's because they did not want to look like Brexit. They didn't want to look like UKIP, and they wanted to look about as embracing to the outside world as possible. Oh wait, I've actually forgotten. Nigel Farage isn't exclusively embracing to the outside world. Nigel Farage actually is very embracive of the outside world. Well, specifically the Americans, specifically Donald Trump, specifically the Republican Party, and I think you could understand the rest. And bear in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I've done entire videos where I've talked about the Reform Party's policies and what they actually mean. And a lot of them stem from the idea that they sort of speak of like Donald Trump's wet dream or his version of a very one-party system, if you will. But like I said again, ladies and gentlemen, that might not matter anyway because according to the Daily Express, Brexit has been such a marvellous success. And yet, I still won't believe it. We are living in very tumultuous and tenuous times, ladies and gentlemen. We are almost living in a sort of political war here in the United Kingdom. So arm yourself with knowledge. Also, I won't be going away anytime soon, mostly because somebody has nailed my feet to the floor. Also because I feel like, well, like I said, sometimes in life, you've simply got to do what you think is right.